think what I should do is go grab the grid on the answer book so that we can answer the first question, 5.1. Here's the grid. Let's go back, and I think let's paste it here or here. Why not? Yeah, let's put it here. Let's put it here. Now we have to plot the graphs of f, which is cos x minus 45 degrees, this one, and we have another function g, which is minus 2 sine x, where the graph is plotted between 0 degrees and 360, between 0 and 360, okay, and 360. So they want us to draw the graph of f and g on the same set of x's provided in the answer book. This is what we have. The easiest way to plot a trigonometric function is actually to use your calculator. If you have the Casio 82 ZA plus 2, it's gonna work just fine as well. So we say what mode? Yeah, press mode. No, shift, no. Oh, table. Okay, so we start off by pressing mode, and then we go to table, and then you'll see an f of x appearing there. So we're gonna punch in that function, the cos, then you're gonna say alpha x to put in the x, minus 45 degrees, you close the bracket, you say equals to, then g of x, it's minus 2 sine, again you press alpha, and then you look for x. X is found where there's a closing bracket up, there's a closing bracket just below the button for sine. So you press that button after pressing alpha. You press alpha, then you press that button, you're gonna get an x. You close the bracket, equals to. Okay, start. Where does the graph start? It starts at 0, equals to. End. Where does the graph end? It ends at 360 degrees, equals to. Step. Okay, the step, it's normally gonna be found on the grid that is provided. Look, 0 to 45, 45 to 90, 90 to 135. There's a step of 45 degrees, meaning there's a difference of 45 degrees for every angle that that is marked down on the x-axis. Okay, so for the step, we're gonna use a 45 degrees. 45 equals to, then you get your table for f of x and g of x. So you're just gonna plot now. So for 0, okay, that's marking. Now let me use purple for g of x. Let's start off by plotting g of x. So for g of x, I get a 0 degrees for 0 degrees. And then for 45, I'm getting a minus 1.4. So a minus 1.4 is around somewhere here. And then the 90 degrees gives me a minus 2. Remember, we are plotting the purple, the green, the g function. And then 135, it's the same, or should be in line with that, because it's 135 and minus 1.4. So somewhere along this line. And then we have 180 degrees. The 180 degrees, that's 0. And then the 120, the 225, the 225, that's positive 1.4. 1.4 is around here. And then 270, that's 2. 270, that's 2. 315 should be in line with this point on 225. And then we have 360 at 0, like this. And then we connect all of these points to give the graph of G like this. Don't use straight lines, use curves, okay? curves, 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 curves. We are trying to connect the points by in that process trying to construct something that looks like a mountain. So we have a trough and then a peak and then a peak and then a peak. So this is G. This is G. Now let's plot f of x. F of x, why not? Let's start here. So I'm gonna use orange for that. So 360, 0.7, positive 0.7, positive 0.5, 0.7. Could be somewhere around here. 315, 315. That's 1. No. 315. That is f of x. Okay, it's 0 degrees. It's here. And then 270. 270, that's negative 0.7, negative 0.7, somewhere here. And then 225, that's negative 1, 225, that's negative 1. And then we have 180, which is the same line as this. And then 315, that's 0, that's 0. Then 90, 90, it's around here. And then 45, that's positive 1. And then 0 degrees, it takes us back here. And then we're gonna have a graph that looks like this. Like this. I'm just connecting, 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 connecting. Okay, then f, that is the orange function. That is the orange function. Okay, 5.1 done. 5.1 done. Now remember, plotting a function or a graph of a trigonometric function, just use a calculator, man. Stress free. Okay, this is done. We are doing question 5. Then 5.2. Write down the value of x for which g is a minimum. Okay, G is a minimum. Where G is a minimum. Now, let me use a marker that is green. I'm going to show off the maximum point using green for both graphs. So this is G. That's maximum. That's maximum for F as well. Alright, that's maximum. Now, we're going to have minimum points. Minimum points are where we have a turning point just below the x-axis. Okay, so since the question is asking for the x value of g, which we get a minimum, so we see that a minimum for g, it's this point. So the x value for that minimum, it's gonna be 90 degrees. So the x value where we get the minimum, it's x equals to 90 degrees. 5.3. I don't need to divide the paper because it's gonna be a short question anyway. 5.3. Write down the period of G. Write down the period of G. G. Okay, so let's use blue this time as a marker. Okay, black. Let's go back. Do this. Okay, so how do you measure a period on the graph? A period is measured like this. Your graph needs to have a trough and a peak. So where the graph stops after creating a full complete wave with both the trough and the peak, where it stops, where it ends, that's where you get your period. So based on what we see, we can say the period for graph G, that period, it's gonna be at 360 degrees. All right, but now I have another question for you. Maybe try answering this one on the comment section. What is the period of the f function? What is the period of the f function? Let me know in the comment section. 5.4. Use letters A and B to indicate whether graphs this is equals to that. looks kind of weird, but okay. We have this minus 1 over 2 cos x minus 45, x minus 45, x minus 45 degrees. Okay, hang on. There we go. Minus 45 degrees is equals to sine x. Okay, so I know where the sine is coming from. I know where this is coming from. It's coming from that g function. The cos x minus 45, it's coming from that orange function. Okay, so what should happen is that we need to sort of like reconfigure that equation so that we can actually see what is actually happening. Or yeah, but if you can see it, let me say it's where the graphs are intersecting or where the graphs are equal, right? But it's safe to do this. Multiply by a minus 2 over 1 on both sides. Minus 2 over 1, cancel, negative times negative, it's positive. Then we're going to end up with the cos x minus 45 degrees. This is what I was looking for, to reconfigure the equation so that you can see that on the left hand side we have f of x, and then on the right hand side we have minus 2 sine x, right? So in other words, we are looking for the parts of the graph where f, that's f, is equals to g of x, that is g of x. So we are looking for those parts of the graph where f is equals to g, where the graphs are equal. It's at these points, at this point, points of intersection. So we need to use letters A and B. So this is A, and then this is B. This is B. Or you can start with B, then follow that up with A. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so this is where the graphs are equal. 5.5. Use the graphs drawn in 5.1 to determine the values of x for which f prime x is less than 0. Okay, here's something you need to understand. The f prime actually represents a gradient of a tangent, or the first derivative, if you may. So the gradient of a tangent, what is a tangent? A tangent, it's a line that touches a curve at only one point, right? So we are looking for those parts of the graph where the derivative or the gradient of the tangent is less than 0, right? Where the gradient of that tangent is less than 0, meaning it has a negative gradient. I think I was explaining this back in question 1, yeah, the first question I did, that if your line is slanted like this, it's gonna have a negative gradient. If it's slanted like this, it's gonna have a positive gradient, like this. If it's slanted like this, it's gonna have a positive gradient, or an f prime x that is bigger than 0. Like I said, f prime represents a gradient, the derivative represents a gradient. Then you also have a m that is less than 0 for a line that is tilted like this, f prime less than 0. So if I were to follow up tangents, or try to sketch tangents along the f function, that's gonna give me a line that is slanted like this, So if you take a look at this, if I draw a tangent, say maybe here, I'm gonna have a line that is slanted like this, right? So this is a positive gradient. So it means that along this green part of the graph, whatever tangent that I try to sketch, it's going to have a positive gradient. Along this part of the green part of the graph, whatever tangent I'm going to try to draw, it's going to have a positive gradient, a line that looks like this, a tangent with a line that looks like that. However, for this part of the graph that I'm highlighting in purple, it's going to give us lines or tangents that are slanted like that yellow line. So the gradient is going to be negative. So it's going to start where? So we are looking for the x values for which this is true. For which that is true. Let me go back to writing mode. Okay, so it starts at 45 and ends where? At 225. So the answer for this is going to be x element of, we exclude the 45 and exclude the 225 as well. We exclude the 45 and the 225. It starts at 45, but the 45 is excluded, and ends at 225, but they are excluded. Why? Because at 45, that's where we get a turning point, and a tangent has a zero gradient at the turning point. At 225, the gradient has the tangent has a zero gradient at that turning point. So the solution for this should be this. 5.5, it's x element of 45 degrees to 225. All right, now we jump to question 6. It's another question on trigonometry.